So it's in the middle of July here in the UK, and obviously it's raining still. But I've had lots of people comment on why I have dahlias flowering already in the garden, and so many of them when it's so early. And I thought I'd explain why. So these ones are second year dahlias, which means I planted them in April 2023, and I've successfully overwintered them, which basically means when they died at the end of the year last year, I cut them right back and covered them with a really thick layer of mulch. That way they were protected from the frost over the winter, and they didn't have any root disturbance. So not only are they bigger tubers, which means they've got more energy to produce flowers with, but they weren't disturbed. So they had a head start on the tubers that we planted this year, for example, which were also smaller. Now let me show you this, for example, is what our first year tubers look like. So because we've had quite a wet and not particularly warm summer so far here in the UK, they are still relatively small. I haven't pinched this one out yet, but I definitely will. But it's only got one stem, so it could do with a bit more growing. But these ones, I'm waiting until they get a tiny little bit bigger, like these, before I put them out in the garden. And I got my trusty beer traps to keep away the slugs and snails. So I fill that with beer and pop them around the garden. Got another one over there, so that in the event that slugs do want to come and munch in, they go to the beer trap instead. So these are looking pretty healthy and strong as a result. Now this is an example of a second year tuber which I stored in the shed. So it's quite a lot bigger than the first year tubers, but it hasn't got any flowers yet. It hasn't even got any buds. So it's a little bit further behind than the ones that I managed to successfully leave in the ground. But still, because it's a bigger tuber, it's got lots more stems, naturally, because it's got more energy, which will hopefully then lead to more flowers. Exciting. Now, depending on where you live, we wouldn't really expect first year tubers to flower until middle of August, sometimes earlier if you're lucky with a good summer, but it's chucking it down with rain now, so I don't think we're going to get early dahlias this year, which is why if you do manage to successfully overwinter them, you get to enjoy them for much, much longer. Really hope you found that useful. Don't forget, if you did, subscribe to my YouTube channel for lots more dahlia growing top tips throughout the season.